USDC, yo. USDC gonna be the one. It's gonna be the one.
Yeah, that's why they set it up like that. Because they knew tether. They knew what they was gonna do to tether.
See, they can control that. They control that USDC. They can shut
facts.
Yeah, like USDC, that's be the standard.
And the way the support levels look, Bitcoin, the next support level will be like 2021. Yeah, that's where that's what.
And then I think XRP is 41. It could drop to 41. I think that's what I saw because I had see it charted it up earlier.
Let it go. Let that bitch go to fucking 10 cents.
Probably like around 40. Yeah.
Let that bitch go to 10 cents.
What's good, BlockNation? I'm Queen.
I'm D.
And I'm Maverick. Welcome to BlockNation. Yes, we are back with another episode. Make sure you guys text BlockNation to 26786 to get our text opt-in, to get updates when we go live, have merch, anything that we have going on. You get a text and hear from us first. Also, shopblocknation.com. Head on over to shopblocknation.com to get your BlockNation merch.
But we could go to the next issue that we have, which is entertainment, which is the negative media influence and portrayal of certain groups. So y'all already know I'm gonna go straight to the music because we got to get rid of this op culture. We got to get rid of all of this murder music. All that stuff got to go, man. It's detrimental to what's happening to these kids and how they, how they process in life. Just their whole perspective on life is just messed up because of music. And it's starting with that. Because that's just the biggest issue. They watching these music videos and they watching people spin the block and they got Dracos and that's all they want to do. And I'm like,
that is.
So let's go ahead and get into it because the music industry plays a huge role in society. It's
funny that you mentioned that because today I was reading Ebro from Hot 97, a local radio station in New York City, right? He put up a tweet that said record labels are not focusing on rappers as much anymore because it's just too boring, you know what I mean? And they're just like looking for the next, hit on TikTok or whatever. They're not really like trying to change the frequency. They're focused. So labels are focusing more on like Latin music and African music, which is
because it's fire.
It is fire.
Artist, like
it is fire. It is
Burna
fire.
Boy is hard, bro. I love Burna Boy.
Because all these rappers, singers, and no disrespect,
they sound the same.
Yeah, they sound pretty much the same. So it's like it's pretty boring. Like nobody's doing anything innovative. So they're going outside of the genre and looking at other genres and like, okay, let's be done with this. So somebody that is a rapper right now or whatever, like you got to really be able to move the needle, somehow. You got to be able to move the needle. Just boring.
It's funny that he says that because they are following the money. Rap isn't making money anymore.
Nope.
And if you guys look at the charts of this year, there hasn't been a #1 rap album this year. Every year for the past 3+ years, there's been a #1 rap album, right?
People finally waking the hell up. Great.
Right. So
awesome.
Rap and hip hop, like it hasn't been dominating over the last like year and a half. So they're following the money. They're like, oh shit, nobody's really listening to this anymore. So now
everybody sound the same.
Yeah, they do.
Bow Wow said it best at the BET Awards. Like he was like, bro, everybody's saying the sounds, the same melody, it's the same hook. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about the same thing. Everybody got the same bars. Like, don't nobody want to hear. And honestly, bro, don't nobody want to hear that. Like, I don't care that you spent the block and you hit your op. I don't care, bro. That has nothing to do with me, bro. I don't care. I don't think you hard. Like, I grew up in the era where like my brother will fight you. Fist like, let's go, like we can go box. I don't care. You can shoot anybody can shoot a gun. Your grandma can shoot a damn gun. I don't
care. Yeah. And that's it's a double-edged sword because they did that and they pushed all these artists in the first place. And the same people who own the record labels own the prisons. So they did this shit.
Yep. And they get them just to lock them up, or you know what I'm saying, like. Yeah. And they did all this for the trap. They give them a couple $1,000 and they think that they made it out the hood, and then they ass end up in jail.
Yeah, the entertainment industry is used as a weapon against the people. And it's a subliminal weapon because people don't even realize that they change the frequency of the music. You know, even, Kanye kind of talked about it when he talked about the 808s, or if you hear about Beats headphones, how there's they turn your brain wave into a beta. I think it's a delta waves. I think it is, but you get into like this state of being based on the frequency of the music, and that makes you more susceptible to the messages that are being displayed into them. And so that's why people don't really understand that. You don't really understand that you're being influenced. You might think you're not being influenced, but there are levels to yourself. And on a lower level or a deeper level, you're being influenced by the frequencies of that music. And so they understand frequency. They understand the effects of sound and vibration on the human, on the individual. And then so they took over this industry. They took it because we had the soulful, the soul music. We had the positive rappers, and you know what I'm saying, when rap first came out, we had the Tribe Called Quest and these, people with a different message, and then they changed it because they understood that these people were using the music even during slave times. Like we used music to help us cope, to help us get inspiration and motivation and deal with things. But now they've turned it on us to where now we use it to pervert ourselves, you know what I'm saying? To destroy ourselves, to create more immorality in ourselves. And so that's why we talk about you have to become aware of how the enemy is using these tools against us that we are using for entertainment and don't even realize that these are weapons that are aiding in our own destruction.
The frequency shit is so real.
Y'all been around long enough. And Ashley, I know you're the youngest out of all of us, but you're an old soul anyway. So y'all been around long enough to understand that, the music shit is another layer to just coax, people in, to influence people. You know what I mean? That music layer, because like a lot of these artists, a lot of these rappers are mad young. Let's not take that out. A lot of these rappers are like 18 and under. Like I've never seen so many young rappers in my life. So you got to think of the mature level, the maturation process of these rappers. Because when I was younger, the rappers I was listening to, they was like in their 20s, late 20s, stuff like that. Even Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? When he got popping, he was like 27. You know what I mean? He was like 26, 27 years old. So he had that maturity, like as he got bigger. Like a lot of these rappers right now, they like getting their first whiff of life. So,
they don't have much to talk about other than, other than what they're doing in the streets and stuff. And I honestly don't care to hear that shit. So I'm gonna go on to the next topic because that's how much I don't care to hear that shit. So, but the next topic I do want to touch on is labor. I know we kind of talked about it already, but it's really like the lack of workers' rights and protections, because at these jobs, like these jobs have been taking advantage of people, and that's a big reason why people, I feel like, want to work remote. Because they don't have to worry about being in office or worry about work conditions. That's why a lot of people want to take remote jobs. Another thing with labor is pay. They're not paying. These people think paying $15 an hour or even $18 an hour, even $20 an hour. They think that's some money. They really think
money.
People.
Time versus money. Like I just said it. Time versus money, you guys. If you guys are taking gigs at 18, 15, 17, 20 an hour, it's time versus money. How much of your time do you value? That's how you break it down. Are you worth $50 an hour? Are you worth $100 an hour? That's the question. UPS, they had to fight to get 6 figures.
And that money, but how many hours they working?
Exactly. And then the 6 figures ain't even gonna go when you first start working. They're like, you can go get a job at UPS right now, you're not getting 6 figures. That's for the people that's been there, I think, 5+ years.
Right.
They'll get 6 figures.
Back breaking fucking 20, almost 18 hours a day, whatever hours they're working, like crazy hours, fighting dogs and fighting inflation and all this other stuff. Like they got a lot.
The more you make as a W-2 earner, the more you're taxed. If they don't have a way to reduce their tax exposure by having a home-based business or something on the side where they can reduce their tax expenditures, the more money you make, the more they taxing you anyway. So they're not even making all that money. They getting taxed big time.
Right.
So now they're talking about, they working 40, 80 hours a week, long days, long nights, wintertime, summertime, blizzard, they out there, right? But then all those other dynamics is you're a slave again. You know, you don't have to enjoy the money. You know what I'm saying? You just to work.
That's how they getting people though. And then that's what used to kill me, man. When I used to be at work, they used to think like, hey, you could pick up a shift on Sunday. Like anytime I hear people that say they work 65 hours a week or something like that, I'm just like, damn, how many of your kids' birthday parties have you missed? How many, you know, family gatherings are you missing? Because you gotta go slave at this job, man. That's just so you can make ends meet. Like people gotta go work 60 hours a week just to get a decent, and I ain't even saying a good paycheck, a decent paycheck. That's insanity to me, bro. That's insanity.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then, you know, like you said, fighting inflation, you know, it's not getting any better, you know, wage wise. So, you know, people are finding ways to earn extra income. So, you know, that's why the creator economy is going to be mega huge, mega huge. Massive. So if you create content right now, like we create content, and you do whatever lane you're in, you're already ahead. You're already ahead. Don't matter what lane you in. Because as people are getting laid off, they're going to start trying to figure out, like, what else can I do?
That's going to lead us to the next episode, because we giving y'all all the issues and stuff that we having, and the next episode is going to be the solutions. So, yeah, we talking about all the issues at hand, because you got to address the issue so that you can solve the problem. So, you know, that's going to get us.
That's how I'm saying that real quick is, look, forget working a job. The AI, robotics, automation, develop yourself, develop skills, okay? Get into agriculture, you know, get into these skills that, you know, aid humanity. But if you're hoping that there's a corporation or somebody who's going to employ you, you're working backwards. You're better off learning something. And they talk about the creative economy, putting that content out, because one thing we always have is new, every year, you know, people are graduating, okay? They're entering, you know, the workforce, they're becoming aware of stuff. So there's always a new market. There's always a market of people coming up the year after who need to learn or know what your service that it is you're providing. So we don't necessarily run out of that, but you have to be a producer. You know what I'm saying? You have to find skills. Even, you know, people do a lot of trading now. You know, I mean, you don't have to work a job. There's a lot of ways to just make some money. You know what I'm saying? Make something consistent, you know, and reduce those expenses, because a lot of people love partying and spending a lot of money. And I'm telling you, people make money, but they just spending too much.
Spend it, and they spend it fast. They spend it so fast.
Spend it before they get it.
Yep,
that's so true.
For sure. The next one I want to touch on is the law, and I know this is definitely, you know, something it's just very sensitive, especially for y'all with y'all being Black men. But the abuse of power by law enforcement, that's you know, that's a big issue in society. So, you know, just we can touch on that for a second, because I know that's a big problem.
I'll say that, you know, when it comes to law, civics, that's like most of the reason why we get jammed up, because we don't know civics at all. You know, like when we talk about constitutional rights and everything, it sounds good, but can you apply it? Can you apply it when you're in a situation? Most people know. They know they have these rights, but it's what you say. That's why your words matter, yo. Like when you talking to any individual, even when you go into the courtroom, you know, there's all this terminology, and I know Maverick, you know, talks about it all the time. It's all this terminology that's like foreign terminology. You know, there's dictionaries, like the Webster Dictionary. Nah, the World Dictionary is the etymology dictionary. So that's game right there. You go outside of the United States, they use the etymology dictionary. They don't use Webster. Webster, that's some English bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like we get jammed up because we don't know civics, yo. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason, a huge part of the reason.
Yeah, it's about overstanding. When you say you understand, you're really standing under the law of whatever that officer is saying, or that court appointed person who is speaking to you. So you got to overstand things. And when you're using the English language, look up a little book called Black's Law Dictionary. Black's Law Dictionary has something in there called legalese. Legalese is the real language of the law. So what we're speaking is just words, but that is the words that they use in the law system, the court system, things that matter in contracts. Everything is contracts, you guys.
You got it right there.
Everything is contract. You can verbally say whatever. Oh yeah, I'll pay you Tuesday. I'll pay you whatever. No, whatever's in that contract, I can say whatever. Whatever's in that contract, and you sign it, it's over with. It's a done deal.
And I know Rick showed it right there.
And there's different editions. This one is the 4th edition. This one I pay about $500 for this. You can go and Google Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition. But this is, once again, it comes down to the education, you know what I'm saying? Because they know that we're going to be interacting in society. They know the chances of us getting pulled over by the police are high. You know what I'm saying? They know that you're going to have to buy a house. You're signing contracts, but you weren't taught in school the language, the lingo, you know what I'm saying? The legalese. You didn't understand that the word that you use loosely, colloquially amongst friends and family doesn't mean the same thing in law, or it means something totally different. And so that's where we talk about the definition of things. You can have the same word and it has a different definition and different application, but they made sure that we don't want you to know that, because once again, they wanted a nation of workers, a nation of slaves, essentially. They didn't want you to be free. They didn't want you to be empowered. They didn't want you to have the degrees of level of understanding that they had as Masons. You know what I'm saying? There's degrees, it's levels, it's initiation process. They didn't want to give you that game. They didn't want to they didn't want to put you on to the black and white squares and have you on point. You know what I'm saying? But this is why it's so important that people understand this stuff now, because war has been waged on this for a long term, but now we got the keys. Now we got the resources. Now we got the, the technology. You know what I mean? And it's for those who are ready to transcend and elevate and go to the next level, that those of us is waking up and coming together and being who we're supposed to be for ourselves and our future generations to come, and helping lead the masses along the way.